Hey everybody, MorbTron here. Today is April 21st, 2020, which makes it a Tuesday and a reset day. Now, the Guardian games have started this week, along with GrandMaster Nightfalls, and of course there's some other stuff to go along with that. There's a new exotic heavy machine gun that we're going to be able to get. Don't know how yet, but it'll be there, and we'll see. We'll see how things go and whatnot this week. We'll see if Guardian games can basically save the season. And they said something about Rasputin's weapon refineries finally done making stuff, and so now we can start launching it into space, doing the public event that we've been doing the entire season so far, that I just absolutely love smashing my face against. But yeah, let's get to it here. So when you first log in, you get this thing that pops up on your screen that says, you know, what you can do this week. Or while the Guardian Games event is going on. There's 3 new exotic ghost shells that you can get that are one for Titan, one for Warlock, and one for Hunter. There's a new armor set from the Eververse. There's a whole new fleet of Eververse stuff because, well, this is Bungie in 2020, and the Eververse takes precedence over making new content, but I digress. We'll get into that Eververse stuff here in a second, and into my thoughts on how that stuff looks. But yeah, to start the Guardian games, is what they're called, kind of a play on the Olympics, you basically just talk to Ava Levante. I haven't done it yet. I'm sure she's going to say some stuff that I honestly don't care about. Now, these Guardian games, that being a play on the Olympics, that's based on, you know, doing activities, which is probably going to be not a new activity, but what it's going to be is just here we go, weekly bounties, daily bounties. You turn in medals for doing stuff. Weekly bounties are 4 points, daily bounties are 2 points, additional bounties 1 point, and you can turn in medals. Now, I don't know why you'd turn in anything other than gold. Let's just turn in 3rd place to get 3rd place. I don't really understand why you'd want to do that, but I'm gonna choose that one, I guess. Why not? And it looks like here the heir apparent, you get this thing from the completion of the Class Act Triumph, which I imagine is not going to take too long to do, but basically Guardian Games is going to boil down to new activities, or not new activities, new bounties to do in the same activities, which is what I was afraid of. So, yay. We do get a new heavy machine gun, though. And what this thing does, let's see here, Armor of the Colossus, while at full health, spinning up this weapon protects you with an arc shield. Interesting. That is an interesting thing. And the intrinsic trait is Heavy Slug Thrower. Use right-click, since I'm on mouse and keyboard, to spin up. This weapon can only be fired when fully spun up. It is a 900 RPM heavy machine gun, and it has 200 rounds in the magazine. Interesting. That is incredibly fast. We'll have to see how this thing actually fires. It's faster. This thing fires as fast as an SMG, and it's a heavy machine gun. I can't wait to get my hands on this thing later today and try it out. That arc shield seems interesting, but only activates at full health. So, will it be overpowered in the Crucible? Probably not. Will it be overpowered anywhere? Depends on the damage that it does, since 900 RPM for a heavy machine gun has never been seen before. But other new stuff this weekend, or just stuff to do for reset, we have the GrandMaster Nightfall, like I said, which is a new difficulty for the Ordeal Nightfalls. Now, the thing that's more difficult about it is the power level is 1050, and everything else has been incredibly ramped up. This week, enemies throw many more grenades. There are unstoppable and barrier champions. Radar is disabled. The GrandMaster modifiers are the contest modifier is active, so your power is capped, I believe, at 1020 or 1025. I don't really remember, but there is a power cap, so you cannot overpower the GrandMaster Nightfall. I don't know if you'll ever be able to, but this week specifically you cannot. We have extra champions, locked loadout, meaning you cannot change your loadout. You cannot have anybody join in progress, so you can't just exit the Nightfall and rejoin if you die. Match game and extra shields, and then extinguish if your fire team wipes, you go back to orbit, and you have limited revives, but you gain additional revives by defeating champions. And this week, since it is the what is it here, the Insight Terminus, we have Kargan Stratagem, so incoming void and environmental damage is increased. So much more difficult, and I imagine that, you know, some people will be going for world's first for this, but I don't imagine many people farming it afterwards for the rewards, because it's basically not much better than doing Master. So yeah, we had the Insight Terminus for the GrandMaster Nightfall this week, and for the farmable Nightfalls we have the Inverted Spire, which gives you a Sparrow or a Ghost Shell exotic, I forget, Will of the Thousands, which gives you an exotic transmat effect, and Broodhold, which gives you nothing. There's no Nightfall specific loot from Broodhold. So this week the farmable Nightfalls are pretty much worthless. No weapons to farm for. Good times. Good times in Destiny 2 right now. In the Crucible, our weekly rotating playlists are Scorched and Lockdown. So if you are a fan of just blowing up Guardians with giant Scorch Cannons, you can do so. And if you want to do Lockdown, I guess you can do that too. But I'm assuming not many people actually play the more competitive style rotator. So yeah, Team Scorched. If you want to get Crucible progress towards stuff and not really try and just kind of meme around, Team Scorched is where it's at. Everything else is of course the same: Rumble, Control, Elimination, Survival, and Freelance Survival, with Classic Mix rounding out the bottom. Trials of Osiris will of course be this weekend, so that's where that is right now. Gambit is Gambit. There's no changes to that whatsoever. The Tangled Shore this week is the Flashpoint, so that's pretty cool. The Seraph Bunker that is active this week is the one on the EDZ. Going to the moon, the nightmares this week are Skolos, Omnigul, and the Fanatic. Now, let's talk about this Eververse stuff. What do we have for Eververse this week? Well, the front page is full of new Guardian Games stuff that Bungie wants us to purchase for a lot of money. Like this emote for $10, where you basically light an Olympic-style torch. Pretty cool. Now, all of this will be available for Bright Dust, minus, I believe, this finisher. I don't know for certain. I know it's all but one thing will be available for Bright Dust. But honestly, there's really only one thing that I care for. Now, the armor sets, as you see here, are very colorful. I don't know how they'll shader, and they don't really look all that good, in my opinion, anyway. It just looks like we're wearing big, poofy coats, kind of. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that armor whatsoever. This ship, the Underdog, looks more like a little scooter, like a little hover scooter, maybe. I don't know if your Guardian would sit in that, but obviously if you're going to outer space, good luck. Now, we have different projections. We have two emotes, one high score, one low score. Yeah, I don't know. I know I kind of sound salty about the Guardian Games. I really had high hopes that Guardian Games might bring about a new activity to kind of save the season, but it's just kind of bounty simulator, and yeah, I'm kind of salty about that. I apologize. Now, the armor set, you can either spend $15 or 6,000 Bright Dust, and honestly, I don't think it's worth either. The Titan set, the helmet looks stupid. The gauntlet, I think the gauntlets are probably the only thing that have potential. Everything else just doesn't really look all that good, in my opinion. Now, this Represent emote, I hope that this comes up for sale for Bright Dust, because I do want this emote. That is pretty cool. And there is a new dance as well. It is somewhere. Where'd it go? It's on the second page, most likely. There we go. It's hip to the hop. So a new dance is always nice to have in the game. And then I believe this one is directly pointed at Titans, because we can't count over 2. That's fine. You don't need to count the crayons before you eat them. But yeah, then we move on to what is available for Bright Dust this week. We have our class projections from Guardian games that we can purchase for our ghosts. If you want to purchase that for 1,500 Bright Dust, that's a lot for a ghost projection, or 450 for a Cherry Blossom entrance. Not really sure how that's related to Guardian games. Maybe Spring in general? I don't really know how the Cherry Blossom is attached to the Olympics at all, but that's fine. So that's that. So all of this stuff, all this Eververse stuff, I do have to say, my opinion on it is all ugly and incredibly phoned in. I don't think any of this is going to shader well. I know I might sound incredibly salty, but it seems like they spent a lot of time sprucing up the tower and not a whole lot of time actually making new content besides stuff to purchase from the Eververse. So, yeah. Interesting. That is it for this week's reset. Now, if you want to show your support for my channel, hit the like button for me. I actually am coming out with a new series where it's a Crucible school dedicated to people that are new to the game, like New Light players specifically. So if one of your friends or you are a New Light player, definitely give that playlist a check out. There's only one video up on it right now, but I have more coming out tomorrow and so on that will go over Crucible basics and stuff to teach New Light players how to not be afraid of the Crucible and how to have fun and have a good time. So that is it for this video. Like I said, hit the like button for me if you are wanting to show support for the video. If you're new here, subscribe for more Destiny 2 stuff. But do not forget to have a good day, everybody, and I will catch you all next time.